Hi, my name is Harrison Craig, and I will be doing the pH meter.
And my name's Bailey Davis, and I'll be doing the conductivity meter.
My name's Taylor Akmoff, and I will be using the Lamote colorimeter.
My name's Nick. I'm going to be doing the spectrophotometer.
My name is Haley Whitehead, and I'll be doing the dissolved oxygen.
So we're going to be doing iron with the spectrophotometer here. So the method number is 8008, so you want to go find it in the book. Once you find that, you go to your stored programs, and it's 265, so you scroll till you find that, and you hit start. And then you want to prepare your sample, so you take your water, you pour it in there till you reach the line. And then you want to rip open your solution, little pillow, pour the powder in. Then you want to mix until it's fully dissolved. And it will turn orange if iron is present, but it doesn't look like it will. You've swirled it all in there. You go timer, and then you go for the 3-minute waiting period for this. And while that's happening, you want to prepare your blank sample. So you pour water in there. And then you want to wipe it off. And then you're ready to put it in, and then you're ready to zero once the timer's up, and then you can do your sample. Now, the timer's up, your blank sample's in here, so you zero the instrument. So now it's ready to read, so you take out your blank, and you wipe off your sample. In there, you hit read, and it's displaying 0.07 milligrams per liter total iron in this sample. So then take it out. You want to grab waste for iron. So you take iron waste, pour it in there, take distilled water, rinse it. And then, because this is just your tap water, you pour it out, rinse. Put it back there. Then you can turn off your instrument and put it all away.
Using the Lamote colorimeter, which here it comes from this box here, and it comes with this book so that you can look up your test and how to do the test. So I'm going to start by going into the main menu, so you press enter, and then you press enter again to go to the testing menu. You press enter again to go to all tests, and then we have to find our test number. So on here it says the code is 3665 SC. They look it up in their book, and I found it here, and it says it's 86 silica. So I scroll to 86. There's little arrows on here. Messed up. It's 89. So we press enter once we find it. And I'm going to take these little bottles and I'm going to rinse them with distilled water. Make sure you triple rinse them as well, just so that they're not contaminated at all and your results are not biased. Make sure you get every part of the bottle. And then in here, we're gonna take our sample water, which is from the tap, and we're gonna pour to the 10 milliliter mark. So I'm just gonna do this over the sink so I don't pour it everywhere. And I'm gonna make sure that the line, the meniscus is correctly on the line. And I'm going to put my lid on. You wanna make sure that you use the Kim wipe and wipe it so that it's clean before you put it into the meter. I'm going to put in here and press scan blank. And then it will tell me to scan the sample. So I can take this out. And then in the book here it says, I can just use the blank because it's the sample water. So it says to add 1 scoop of the sulfate. Just make sure it's level and it's not going over. I'm going to place it in here. Now I'm supposed to cap and shake until it dissolves. And now we will wait 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, we're just going to give this another little shake before we put it in. We want to make sure that it's clean again before putting it in so it can read the number properly. Just going to place it in here and hit enter to scan the sample. And our sample is 16 ppm. So once we are finished this, we are going to put this in the proper waste container. So the proper waste container, it says the Lamotte, which is our meter, and the sulfate, and the number 3,665. I want to make sure it's correct so we're not mixing any chemicals. We'll just put it in there, and we can rinse into here so that we're not getting any in the sink. Make sure that it's clean. Then we want to make sure that we put everything back how it was found. Turn off the meter, of course, and unplug it. And in the box, it comes with the cord unattached from it.
It's Bailey Davis, and I'm going to be doing the conductivity meter. First, before you start, you want to make sure everything's intact. You want to make sure that the cable are properly installed in the unit, which is right up here at the top. You want to make sure all the physical conditions of the conductivity meter are intact. You want to make sure everything's good, there's no cracks in the wire, make sure the handle's secure. When you're holding the conductivity meter, make sure you put your hand in it so it doesn't slip and fall. Alright. And so before, you want to turn it on, and you want to select your modes to specific conductance. Alright, so when you turn on the conductivity meter, you want to put it to microsiemens. So it's already at microsiemens, but just to show you how to get it, you hit the mode button. See, it's PPT. You want to make sure it's in US. You want to take your probe out, you want to rinse it with distilled water. And then this is our sample water from the tap. and you want to insert the probe into the water, and while you're taking the reading, you want to continuously bob the probe up and down. And you want to wait for it to become stable. Alright, and the reading is going to be 432.0 microsiemens. And the temperature of the water right now is 19.5 degrees Celsius. Alright, after you're done, you want to take the probe out, use distilled water, and rinse it off thoroughly. And you want to replace the probe back into the top here, in the storage housing, and you always want to make sure to turn off the conductivity meter when you're done.
Today we will be learning how to use the pH meter. First off, we will be installing the pH probe and checking for battery, see if it still works, which they both are. The probe is installed and the battery is working. We're first going to calibrate the pH meter with our pH buffers and solutions. So first we press the calibrate button and we put it into our number 7. And we press enter. And after that we use distilled water to rinse it off. Next is number 4 pH buffer. Press calibrate again and enter. And then last is our 10 solution. And now we can check the pH of our sample, which we've taken from tap water. We usually want to hold it in for a few seconds. And we can also take a temperature reading too, which it says it's 19.1 degrees Celsius, and our pH level is 7.21. After this, we will clean our probe again with distilled water, put the cap on, and put everything back in its box.
My name is Haley Whitehead, and I'll be calculating the dissolved oxygen in our samples. So first, you want to grab your samples in a PET 500 bottle and mark it appropriately, so where you got it, what time, the date. And you also want to fill this bottle that came with the titration kit up to the top so there's no air bubbles, which would affect the outcome of the test. First you want to rinse the bottle that came with the titration kit with distilled water 3 times. And then fill it with sample water from the other bottle that came with the titration kit to the 20 milliliter line. And put the cap back on. Secondly, you want to take the thiosulfate with the titrator, take out 10 milliliters. Since our sample came from the tap, it's not really gonna have much of an effect, so we're just gonna fill it with 5 milliliters and move on. So put 5 milliliters in and then you just shake it around. It would change colors right now from a dark yellow to a light yellow, but since it's clear, it's not doing anything. Once that is done, you want to take off the cap and put 8 drops of starch indicator solution, and the sample should turn blue. But the sample is still clear. You want to replace the cap and put the titrator back in. Ten milliliters of the thiosulfate. And then keep stirring until the blue color disappears. So we're just going to say it was 5 milliliters again. And we record that as ppm, so the amount of thiosulfate that came out. Then you want to take your sample and put it in the appropriate waste, which would be the Lamont titrator dissolved oxygen. As to not contaminate the things. Then you want to put all the equipment back to its appropriate place and call it a day. Okay, now that you've gotten your readings from the titration kit, you're going to want to take out the dissolved oxygen meter and turn it on. And you're going to want to clean the probe as to not affect the reading with distilled water. Then you're going to want to open the PET 500 with the sample water in it that has no air bubbles, because that would affect the reading also. You want to put the probe in there and just move it around for a few seconds to let the reading settle. So it's giving me a reading of 8.32 milligrams per liter with a temperature of 20.3 degrees Celsius. So once you're done, you're going to want to rinse the probe again with distilled water and put it back in its socket and then turn off the meter.